So join me here in the great indoors. I was going to make a video outside, but last video, if you watch that, you know that where I live right now, it's had so much rain and it's so wet, and it's been raining almost every day for so long, and it's just not. It's sunny now, but because it's been so wet for so long, the ticks and the mosquitoes and just any parasite really is just absolutely everywhere. It's overrun with ticks, and I am trying to stay out of the woods for right now until it can get dry and they can die back a little bit. But yeah, this is how meditation has changed my life. Now, I have ADD or ADHD, attention deficit disorder, right? And if you know anything about ADD, or if you have ADHD or ADD or anything like it, you'll know that it makes it very difficult to focus on any task, right? And you'll also know that, at least for me, with my ADD, I've noticed that if I'm interested in a task and a task interests me, I'm gonna put almost 100% of my focus into that. I can lock in entirely on anything that interests me, and everything else is just blocked out. I'm fully focused on whatever I'm interested in. But if I'm at least a little bit not interested in it, if it's a little bit boring, it's very, very difficult for me to actually concentrate on it. And of course, that's very difficult for self-improvement, because in self-improvement, you have to occasionally do some pretty boring things, right? You have to, going to the gym can be pretty boring sometimes, even though at first it's pretty exciting. It can get boring after a while. Of course, I still love the gym, but you get my point. And yeah, this has been a big problem in my life for a very long time, is this attention deficit disorder. And what has helped more than anything, I don't believe in that medication blowing, like taking Adderall or whatever. I don't like that. I don't think it's a good solution long term. But this is, and meditation has completely and utterly transformed the way I've approached like my disorder, and how I've been able to control it and actually focus on things. And if you're taking medication, that's fine, but even if you are taking medication, I highly recommend that you try this out. So meditation is not what a lot of people think it is. A lot of people think meditation is a game like that Medito app or whatever that other one is, I don't remember, and just sitting there and like breathing however long it wants you to breathe and think about the happy thoughts and like do all that. That's a type of meditation. I'm talking about a different type of meditation, my preferred type of meditation that helps with your ADHD and your attention, your focus, and your mindfulness. And that is pretty boring, but it's so helpful when it comes to this, because it's supposed to be boring. Basically, all you do is you sit down or lay down, whatever you want to do, and focus on something, right? For me, I prefer to focus on my breath, because you're already going to be breathing, and it's just easier to concentrate on your breath instead of that. That can actually become a distraction as your breath if you're trying to focus on something else. And I just sit there on the floor, close my eyes, and I just breathe deeply. That's all I do. Just do that for about 5 minutes every single day. And what you're going to do is, there's a certain way you have to think about this. You're not just sitting there breathing. You are putting 100% of your focus, even though it's boring. And I know it's very difficult to focus if you have ADD, or basically it's just difficult to focus on anything boring in general, but it's even harder with these disorders. And just sit there and just do your absolute best to just focus. Put 100% of your willpower into concentrating on your breath, a certain sensation of your breath. Maybe it's the feeling of the air traveling through your nose, your belly moving up and down as you breathe, or whatever it is, and just put 100% of your focus on it. And eventually your mind's gonna wander, right? Because you're just focusing on your breath. It literally don't. If you think your mind's not gonna wander, you're wrong. It's gonna wander. You're gonna have a random thought, and once you have a random thought, that's okay. That's actually supposed to happen. So there's a cycle of meditation, right? So you're focused on your breath. You have a thought, and then you bring yourself back to the breath. right? And then now you're focused on the breath. The 3 steps of meditation, and it just keeps going around and around and around and around like a circle. And every time you complete that circle, every time your mind wanders and you bring your focus back, that's 1 rep, right? It's 1 rep for your brain, 1 rep of mindfulness for your mind. You're literally having a workout for your brain, all right? You don't have to do it for very long. If you're struggling with consistency, I do it for about 5 minutes. I know that's not very long, but that's just what works best for me. And I'm thinking about increasing it soon. But yeah, basically all you, like, if you really want to get consistent with this meditation and meditating every day, literally just like 30 seconds of meditation is really good for you, right? Because think about it, if you've never meditated before, it's like going to the gym for the first time, right? You're not going to go to the gym for the first time and then do a 2-hour workout. It doesn't make any sense, right? You're going to go to the gym the first time and you're going to only be there for a little while, and you're probably not going to use very heavy weight, but you're still in the gym. You're still making progress, and you have to go through that stage of barely doing any weight to work yourself up to going to the gym consistently, having nice long workouts, being able to push and move heavy weight, right? You have to work yourself up to that. So don't start meditating and get frustrated when you can't really focus for very long. You keep spacing out and you keep having long random thoughts, and you just can't do it for very long. That's okay. That's supposed to happen. You're supposed to work yourself up to a good meditation, right? This concept of meditating and focusing on purposely focusing on something boring has absolutely transformed my life, and I can't stress that enough, right? I am now able to pretty effectively control my ADHD. I know what situations my mind's going to wander easily, what I have to do to keep my mind focused, and it's so incredibly powerful to just do this. And it's one of the best self-improvement habits you can possibly do, and I highly recommend you start doing it. So yeah, that's all I got for today. God bless you, and stay wild.